Our Nationals MP and former National Resources Minister Keith Pitt joins us. Good to see you in Canberra, Keith. You must love it down there in the bubble. I want to get on to our favourite topic of renewable energy projects, and there was great coverage in the Australian newspaper this week of the latest battlefront here, and that's at Mudgee. Wonderful rural area and tourism area and wine growing area. What a great place to lump a whopping great solar farm, hey?
Oh, well, good on Mudgee, firstly. And secondly, it was all about their visual amenity being impacted. Well, guess who else doesn't want solar panels covering millions of hectares and forests of wind turbines in their areas? Everybody, every single one of them.
Yeah, I should point out that just point out though, the Mudgee one, they managed to knock back that solar farm, right? And you're saying that there's plenty of other areas that'd like to do that.
That's exactly right, Chris, and good on them. And you know, they've turned the tables and utilised what activists have done for years now, and that is slow down projects, delay, use every level of the court system to delay projects, make things more difficult, put in submissions, and that's what every community around Australia that doesn't want these things needs to be doing. We've seen the model from the Environmental Defender's Office, although they're clearly publicly funded by the taxpayer. I don't see them lining up to protect the koala habitat up at Clark's Creek, some 3,000 hectares being impacted. So where are they? Where are the activists and environmentalists on this, Chris? It is hypocrisy writ large. It
sure is, but you know, there's a real problem for the nation here because this is the only plan that the Labor Party has got, right? This diffuse spread of renewable energy projects, large-scale wind farms and solar farms onshore, offshore, right across the country, linked up by massive transmission lines, incredibly expensive. A lot of exposure to weather events, as we experienced in Victoria last week. And, of course, objections everywhere they go, and there'll be some victories. But what we need is a focus on an alternative now, and we're just not getting it. I mean, where are the gas peaking plants? Where's the investment to try and keep the coal-fired power stations going? There's nothing. They've invested everything in this basket, and it's obviously not going to cut it.
Well, when Chris Bowen said that the days of cheap and reliable electricity in this country are over, even I was shocked he'd say something like that, but that seems to be one promise the Albanese government intends to deliver. But you're spot on. We need to maintain our coal assets because they're reliable and they work. That requires investment and confidence. We need peaking gas plants because, quite simply, you're not going to build this stuff. Look at what Stephen Miles is now proposing in Queensland. What, 70% by 2035? I mean, they're just plucking numbers out of the sky. There is no way that that is deliverable. You don't have the assets, you don't have the people, you don't have the equipment, you don't have the pipeline, you don't have any of the infrastructure that's necessary, you don't have the land, and most importantly, you don't have the support of the community. That's why I think nuclear is such a good option, Chris.
They want to shunt these wind turbines and solar farms onto everybody else around the country. It strikes me that that building behind you, instead of the flag up the top of that flagpole, they could have a big wind turbine up there, and all those grassed areas on the top of Parliament House that no one's allowed to walk on anymore, they could all be solar panels. They turn Parliament House into a big renewable superpower.
Well, why not? Bondi Beach is a good spot. It's where a lot of load is in Sydney. We'll get them down at Manly, right around Melbourne Port. I think there's some fantastic locations with high wind and lots of sun, right in the middle of the cities. The idea that it has to be in the regions and has such a big impact. You look at Victoria, they've now withdrawn that report that said if you don't have offshore wind, you'll lose 70% of your agricultural land. This is just
It's a mess.
Bad.
It is a mess. Something's got to give at some stage. We'll keep on it.